the Lavender Witch, and the Captain. In the heart of the fairy world, where the air hummed with ancient magic, Kelvin stood serene amidst a sea of lavender. The scent was intoxicating, a perfume of peace. Beside her stood David, captain of the Cobalt Guard, her shimmering blue armor, a stark, beautiful contrast to the soft purple field. They were enjoying a rare moment of quiet, the sun warming their wings. The peace was shattered by a frantic cry. "Help! Help us!" Glinda, a fairy of the Rose Clan, flew towards them, her pink dress a blur of panic. Behind her, other fairies of green, orange, and cyan hues followed, their expressions twisted with terror. "What is it, Glinda?" Kelvin asked, her calm demeanor a steadying presence. Glinda pointed a trembling finger across the shimmering sea toward the horizon. "The island!" she gasped. "Look! In the distance, the perpetually stormy island, home to the Ice Witch, was undergoing a terrifying transformation." The dark, icy mansion that crowned the island's peak was no longer blue-white. It now pulsed with a malevolent lavender glow. A figure emerged onto a balcony, and a voice, amplified by cruel magic, echoed across the water. "Ha ha! All you fairies are mine." It was the witch, Killary, her form now infused with the same sickly purple light. "I have collected enough lavender and ice magic to capture you all." "She dares corrupt the magic of my fields?" Kelvin's eyes flashed with anger. "This will not stand." Without another word, she and David launched into the air, flying at incredible speed toward the stormy island. The sea below churned with unnatural waves. As they neared, Killary laughed, a sound like cracking ice. She raised her hands, and the sea erupted. Monstrous figures of lavender-infused ice, golems with glowing purple eyes, rose from the churning water, blocking the path to the mansion. "I'll handle these," David yelled, her armored suit whirring. She dove towards the golems, firing blasts of concussive cobalt energy from her gauntlets. The blasts struck the ice monsters, shattering them into 1,000 glittering pieces. Kelvin seized the opening, flying past the battle and straight towards Killary. "Your reign of terror ends now," she cried, unleashing a torrent of pure, concentrated lavender power that sizzled through the air like a bolt of purple lightning. Killary sneered, raising a hand to conjure a massive shield of corrupted, dark lavender ice. Kelvin's attack slammed into it with a deafening roar. The impact sent shockwaves across the island, shaking the very foundations of the dark mansion. Having dispatched the first wave of golems, David flew up to join Kelvin. "My turn," she shouted. She drew her wand, a sleek rod of polished steel, and fired a powerful bolt of cobalt magic directly at the witch. Killary merely scoffed. With a casual flick of her wrist, she deflected the cobalt bolt. The blast of blue energy careened away, slamming into the side of the icy mansion and causing a huge chunk of the structure to crack and groan. "We need to attack together," Kelvin called out. She focused her energy, weaving a swirling vortex of glowing lavender petals. The magical storm flew towards Killary, designed not to harm, but to blind and disorient her. As the whirlwind of petals engulfed the witch, David saw her chance. "Now!" she yelled, taking careful aim with her wand. She fired a thin, precise beam of cobalt magic, not at the witch herself, but at the dark, gnarled staff Killary held in her hand. The cobalt beam struck true. Killary's staff cracked, and the witch screamed in rage as the corrupted lavender magic within it flared violently. A wave of uncontrolled power erupted from the staff, pulsing outwards across the balcony. The magical backlash was too much for David's armor. It sparked and hissed, the cobalt energy field collapsing. With a final puff of smoke, the advanced suit retracted, leaving David floating in the air in her glittering, short cobalt dress, her delicate fairy wings exposed. Killary's eyes, full of hate, locked onto the now vulnerable fairy. "You will pay for that," she shrieked. A shard of lavender-infused ice shot from her hand, flying faster than an arrow, straight towards David. The ice shard struck David's left wing. She cried out in pain, the delicate, shimmering blue wing freezing and cracking on impact. Her flight failed, and she began to plummet from the sky, tumbling helplessly towards the churning, dark sea below. "David!" Kelvin screamed, her heart breaking. A new and terrible fury ignited within her, hotter than any sun. She abandoned all thought of defense, her entire being focused on a single purpose. All her power, all her rage, all her love for her friend began to glow around her. With a climactic roar that shook the heavens, Kelvin channeled all her power into her fist and struck out at the witch. A massive, pure beam of lavender light erupted from her, a wave of justice that tore through the stormy air, overpowering all of Killary's dark magic. The beam of pure magic struck Killary. The corrupted lavender power was violently ripped from her body, dissolving into harmless dust. The sickly purple glow faded, leaving her pale, weak, and human, stripped of all her stolen might. She collapsed to the floor of the balcony, unconscious. As the witch's power vanished, the icy mansion began to groan and crumble, its dark magic undone. Ignoring the collapsing fortress, Kelvin dove towards the sea, catching David in her arms just moments before she hit the raging water. Kelvin held David close, shielding her with her own body as she flew them both away from the island. Huge chunks of dark ice fell from the sky around them, splashing into the sea as the witch's mansion collapsed into ruin. With a thought, Kelvin teleported the now mortal witch to a secure fairy prison where she could harm no one. Back on the ruined balcony where Killary had stood, a single glowing shard of pure blue ice remained. Kelvin gently took it, feeling its pure, untainted magic flow into her. Back in the peaceful lavender field, Kelvin knelt beside David, who lay on the soft grass. Kelvin held the blue ice shard over her friend's wounded wing. The shard dissolved into light, its pure magic flowing into the wing, healing it instantly and leaving it shimmering with a newfound strength. David sat up, her wing fully healed. Just then, Glenda and the other fairies rushed to embrace them. "You did it. You saved us all." Kelvin helped David to her feet and took her hand. "Glenda has invited us to a celebration at the palace," Kelvin said softly. David smiled. "Only if you'll be there." Together they turned toward the gleaming spires of the fairy palace.